Hey there everyone, I'm Darieth Chisolm. Welcome to Hustle and Heart TV. We are on location with this next episode in sunny Florida. And today we're going to talk about making enough noise to stand out in your business or industry. I mean, these days there's so much going on and your competition is trying to clamor to get customers and clients just like you are. And this whole idea of making enough noise to be heard is so very important. My next guest, Caterina Rando, does just that. She teaches women and entrepreneurs to be loud and proud about their brand, to find ways to strategize in the marketplace and get directly to your ideal client and or customer. She does this with this very unique approach to building what she calls insta-clients. As a sought-after speaker, business success strategist, and coach, as well as an author, Caterina works both one-on-one and with small groups on ways to be loud and proud with your brand. So if that's what you're looking for and the ability to catapult your business, stay with us for this next episode of Hustle and Heart TV. You're watching Hustle and Heart TV, a video podcast show that spotlights expert advice from top money earners, successful entrepreneurs, superstar network marketers, and leading authorities in business and marketing. I'm Darieth Chisolm. I'm inviting you into my home and I'm bridging my own personal success as an entrepreneur, MLMer, news anchor, and now video podcast show host to help you leverage more tools and resources, make more money, and generate more ways to take action, become a rock star, and love your journey. Hello there and welcome to this special edition of Hustle and Heart TV. We've got a hustle hangout this afternoon with Caterina Rando. Caterina, welcome.
Hello, so happy to be here.
I am so excited about having you on Hustle and Heart TV, albeit through these modern technology. Google Hangouts are certainly a fascinating way to make sure that we connect, so I'm happy we were able to do that.
Me too.
Yeah. So, Caterina, you have been so busy. I know that you have several programs that you've recently launched, and you really help women thrive in business. So tell us all about what you've been up to.
Well, my mission is to help women thrive in their business by massively monetizing their mastery. And we're all good at something. We don't necessarily know how to monetize it, how to make a lot of money at it, and that's what I like to help women do. Because the more we're earning, the more we get to serve. And I know that's why we're doing our thing, because we want to help others, we want to serve. So I want to help them do well at serving well.
And so how do you do that? I mean, I realize that, many women have walked several different, paths, and we have different things that we're busy doing, but more specifically, how does Thrive help women really, come to the marketplace and live their passion and their dreams?
Well, the way I do that are really three different ways. One is helping women learn how to give a speech and come home with clients, because a lot of women are great speakers, but they don't know how to have clients join them after a speech. So we work on that, and then we also work on how to do your own events, because when you can have your own event, when you can have everybody come to hear you, that also will allow for a great opportunity to gain clients and really serve people the way you want to serve them. And then, of course, the third thing is to help women be more strategic in their business, to help them create a solid business foundation, because a lot of women love what they do, helping people with health or wardrobe or whatever it is that their specialty is, but they don't know how to be CEOs and really strong businesswomen, and that's what I want to teach them so that they can really thrive long term.
What I really enjoy about what you're also doing is helping women to leverage opportunities offline. And this day and age, of course, we're all trying to figure out how to maximize the internet and utilize different web-based tools. And we almost forget what it means to just get out and network and have face-to-face interaction.
Exactly, and thank you for bringing that up, because I really teach ladies that it's high-tech and high-touch. It's not just high-tech. You don't want to just stay behind your screen and think that you're going to thrive in your business. It's really a combination of both that works best.
And in that combination, you actually strategize with women to help them gain what's called insta-clients, right? It's like get out, meet people, but turn them into clients right away.
Right, and that's what speaking and events do. They allow you to gain insta-clients.
So let's talk a little bit more about that and your approach that you teach people.
Well, here's the thing. You have to think about, when we're thinking about business marketing, advertising, all these things, nothing is better than jumping in your car, going 20, 30 minutes from your house, walking in a room where nobody knows you, and by the time you leave, some of those people that didn't know you are now your clients. And that's the power of giving a speech and coming home with clients, or doing your own event and coming home with clients. And the way to do that is, one of the ways is to do what I call an intro event, which is a 2-hour event which simply introduces you and the value that you bring to the people that want to come and hear about it. And at the end of that time, some of them will choose to start with you right away.
So with these intro events, is this something that women just find a location in their own backyards and invite people to just come and learn? I mean, does it take a lot of cost or energy or time to put together?
And the answer is yes, no, and yes, no, because sometimes it can take a little bit more money, like you might do an intro at a hotel, might cost you some money, but there's also something I love, Darieth, called the intimate intro, where you get in somebody's living room. I just did an intimate intro a couple weeks ago. My client, so anybody who has a client that thinks they're incredible, that's somebody who's a great match for you to host an intimate intro. Your client invites the people that they think would be interested in what you have to say to their home. You do your thing for a couple of hours, which is share massive value with them. And at the end, you invite them to join your next event or do coaching with you or whatever your easy yes offer is. And as a result of that, you come home with clients. So it could be intimate or it could be big.
And would you say that this would be available for just about any woman in any business or any, whatever it is that they're marketing, that you could take this same concept and use it?
I would say that it's really best for service-based businesses. Now, the great thing about product-based businesses is you could go and demonstrate your products or showcase your products. So it also works. That's more like a traditional home party.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like a workshop or a seminar in somebody's living room.
And you teach people how to do this. So as much as we're talking about, that it's a great idea and it's certainly a way to get offline and build relationships, if you wouldn't think that nowadays we'd have to be taught how to build relationships with people over coffee or over a glass of wine, but there is some strategy involved with this. And part of what you do when you work with people is to up-level that and take it to a different place in terms of how they turn that person from that conversation into a client.
Right, because there's a lot of different aspects to do it so that it works best for you. Of course, there's cultivating the champion, which is the person who's going to host you, and making sure that they understand who your ideal client is and who your ideal client isn't. That they just don't invite any friend that they think, that they would want to meet you. They invite people that they feel are your ideal client, and they know that because you've educated them. And then, of course, you want to master what you do during that session, that intro program, and of course the offer part is always very important.
And that is certainly very important. You've got to be prepared to make the offer and then move them into the next phase. You also teach women about the importance of building their brand through speaking and having the opportunity to book speaking engagements and get on stage and, of course, sell from the stage. So how does that process work?
Well, here's what I want to say, Darieth, about the intro, intimate intro, regular intro, and about speaking on stages, speaking at events. The more you do it, the better you get. And that really, there's separate skills involved. We think about, hey, I've got to be a good speaker. Well, yeah, that's one skill, but you also have to be good at getting booked, and you also have to be good at making that offer so that people are an instant yes for you, because they really are 3 separate skills. I have people that are really great speakers, but they can't get booked. I have people that are really great speakers, but they can't make an offer. So really, I want everyone to recognize there are 3 separate skills that we have to master.
Very important, and that makes sense. Let's back up a second and look at your backstory. I mean, of course, people who are watching this who say, all right, I understand, I'm going to become a better speaker, I'll understand the dynamics of actually getting booked, and then this whole idea of building insta-clients through this informal engagement in people's homes and at different meeting places. You came to this, however, because of what? What's your background, and how is it that you're now able to even share this with people?
Thank you so much for asking. I used to own a cafe and catering business, and I loved having a business. I loved having a cafe. I knew everyone in the neighborhood, and everyone would come in, and I knew who liked the cappuccino with the cinnamon, and I make a great cappuccino, let me tell you. The thing is, though, I really started to feel after a while that, this is not what I want to do with my life. Food service is not my calling. I did, however, love having a business. And one day this lady came in my cafe, and she was beaming. She was looking beautiful. She was smiling. And she said to me, Caterina, thank you for the business advice you gave me the last time I was here. And her gratitude literally touched my heart. I felt a pang of bliss in my heart. And I thought to myself, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to help women be successful in business. Now, I share that because a lot of times we have an aha moment like that, but we don't necessarily do anything about it. And so the best part of that story is that I did something about it. And I had a business coach, and she helped me become a coach, and I have a master's in counseling, and so I started working with women to help them grow their businesses. Now, that was over 25 years ago. It's been a circuitous route to where I am today, and part of that is realizing where really I feel that women need the most upgrade, and that's around being loud and proud about the value they bring, that we can all be great, but we don't necessarily let anybody know. And by using speaking and your own events, not only do you get to provide massive value, but you also get to showcase that you have value to bring.
So you sell your cafe, you decide, I'm just going to go hog wild into having my own business. Were you clear about what the direction you were going in, or did you take several different paths like most entrepreneurs do?
I took several different paths. I did corporate speaking for a long time, and I would be the run around the country speaker, or the grab and go speaker as I call it, and that was great for filling that desire to speak, but I wasn't building community. When you go give a speech somewhere, it's kind of like a one-night stand. It's exciting, but then you leave. And so it's really important for women that have businesses to build community, and that's what you get when you do your own events. That's what you get when you're doing an intimate intro or an intro, because you're usually doing it in your own geographic area. So you're beginning to cultivate long-term and ongoing relationships, and that's really what helps your business thrive, because what we want is not a client for 5 minutes. We want a long-term and lifelong client, and by doing events and building community, that's what we get. So we don't have to get new clients every year. We just get a few new clients because the ones we already have keep working with us.
That is a great point. We're going to take a break, and I'd love to talk about what it means to build community, ways to do that, and why it's so very important to have that so you can continue this process of upsell, but more importantly, building strong and long-lasting relationships. So we'll dive into that in a moment. Are you looking for a way to advertise your business, product, or service? Why not do it here on Hustle and Heart TV? We'd be happy to send you our media kit for show sponsorship and advertising. Reach out to us at info@dariethchisolm.com or give us a call at 412-692-1600 and we'll send you a media kit with all the information.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Hey kid, let me tell you about the soul pit. and I want you to let everybody know about it. Soul Pit is what's happening in and around your city. Soul Pit is on the internet and around the globe. Soul Pit is on your block and in your car. Soul Pit is in your ear. It's in your hair. It's everywhere. Soul Pit is the latest news, hottest styles, culture, education, information, and more. It gets you ready for things to come. Hey kid, you know what the Soul Pit really is? It's a little something extra for your soul.
Hello, I'm Chuck Sanders, and you're watching Hustle and Heart TV.
Caterina, I love this idea of creating these insta-clients, really finding your voice and getting out there and speaking and developing relationships. But long-term, as you point out, success is about building community and having a number of people that you can turn back to continue to add value to them, but certainly to grow your brand. So let's talk about how you build community and why that's so important.
Well, it's very interesting because when I started to do my own events and my own consistent events, and last year I did 96 days of my own events and training. I'm supposed to cut back this year, but we're at about 85 right now, so it may continue to grow. The thing is that I just wanted to teach. I wanted to teach, and unconsciously, or without me really attempting to do it consciously, a community built up around me. And what this community is a community of like-minded women entrepreneurs. And the amazing thing is that I didn't realize that I was missing that for myself. And all the ladies that came to learn, they didn't realize that they were missing it for themselves. So now that I got hip to what was happening, now I do it consciously. And the way I do it consciously is making clear that everybody is welcome, who is, of course, a woman entrepreneur, but also having an attitude of inclusion, that, we're not going to have this little clique over here and this little clique over here. Really having everyone's welcome for any event, any special event. We're going to go to somebody's house for a pool party. Everybody's welcome. Really having an attitude of inclusion. Running my organization with no judgment of people, finding people right, acknowledgement. These are some of the attitudes and principles that I bring in. And initially, again, I wasn't trying to do it, but now that we have it, I'm really looking at what are the values I want my organization to reflect, what are the values I want the people to reflect, and that's a big part of making it work long term.
You do this online and offline. Clearly, as you have people in your literal community, your physical community, in terms of those that you're meeting with face-to-face, but you also have a few different Facebook pages that are designed to bring women and entrepreneurs together to share what it is that they're doing, but to encourage them to build their own communities.
Yes, in fact, I am so loving the Facebook group right now. And I want to make a distinction. I want people to have their own Facebook group because that's more an ongoing community. Of course, you're still going to have your business page, but don't try to build community on your business page. Build community in a special group that is for the people that you want to work with. Now, you're going to have a group for your private clients. You're going to have a special private Facebook group for that. But for a public group that anyone that doesn't know you can join, the beauty of that is that's where you cultivate some new clients with providing value, answering questions, and again, having everyone that meets your criteria of who you want to work with be welcome.
Let's talk about how you effectively do that and stay on brand. Because when you start to have, multiple different trainings and multiple different Facebook pages and websites, it can get very confusing for you, but definitely confusing for your clients. And so how would you suggest that a person stays on brand, but still be inclusive in this approach of building community?
Right. Well, let me say this. If you look at my brand, we do have a lot of different programs. Speaking, events, business, but I didn't start with 8 programs. I started with 1, and then once that one was established, I went to a second one and a third one. And I really recommend that this is what I tell my clients. You want to be mastering and massively monetizing what you already have before you add the next thing. And the beauty of being self-employed is that you can get what I call a brilliant idea and run with it today. But that's also the challenge, because you can get this brilliant idea and run with it, and that brilliant idea and run with it, and you haven't really mastered the first one. And especially as women, because we get a lot of brilliant ideas. It's really important that we begin to master what we're doing before we add the next thing. And it's the same in terms of Facebook groups. Yes, I have 3 public Facebook groups, but I started with 1. And then after a year, I added the second one, and we've just added the third one, because they all have a different specialty: events, speaking, business, so that then anybody that's attracted to the events group, well, guess what? Then I know they are interested in events, and that's a potential client for me, and I can invite them to my event programs.
It's a really interesting approach, and I'm starting to see that happen more often. And even in some of the mastermind groups that I'm involved with, and one of my coaches in particular has been encouraging us to develop additional Facebook groups and pages to start to build community and conversation, and how it can be so supportive to those people that are inside of it. But long term, it allows you an opportunity for people to hear your voice consistently. So it does make sense, and it's just a matter of keeping it all together. So speaking of keeping it all together, how do you do that? If you're traveling, you've got 85 events, you've got 4 or 5 different programs that you are monitoring or sharing with the world, and how do you do it?
Let me say that the principle that I follow, which I encourage our listeners to follow, is I do what's the highest and best use of my time. And when women fall away from that and they're doing everything, then you're not doing what's the highest and best use of your time. And by the way, the highest and best use of your time is serving your clients, or talking to, or in a situation to gather new clients. That's the highest and best use of your time. Booking appointments, admin, bookkeeping, sending emails, designing your newsletter. Oh my gosh, those are not the highest and best use of our time.
We've all been there before, though, and I meet more people these days who say, listen, I'm wearing all of these hats. I can't figure it out. I know I need to be doing income-producing activities, or using my time in the highest production level or value, but they're trying to figure out how to still balance it, and maybe they don't have a VA or an assistant, or they don't have the opportunity to build team. So what would you tell someone just getting started, or someone in the growth process, who needs to start to up-level and needs those things in place, but needs to start to let them go, or find some help or assistance that they need?
Well, Darieth, you have to say, a leap is required. I spoke yesterday to a woman who I've known for many years. She's been in business for 30-plus years. She's still small, because the first thing she said to me was, I'm doing everything. She's doing everything, and she's been doing everything for 30 years. And you know what the sad part is? She's brilliant. She is masterful at what she does. But she's not able to take it to the next level, because she's downloading the videos. She's, editing the videos. She's doing everything herself. And so if we really want to grow a profitable and sustainable business, start with a little bit of support, 10 hours a month. And I remember one day, too, I had to go out on an appointment. And we had just invited people to join one of our programs. And all these people were interested. And I said to my assistant, book me some calls with the ladies that are interested. I came home, and he had 6 appointments on my calendar for people for me to talk to. My point is, he was doing revenue generation support, so that when I came home, all I had to do was talk on the phone. I wasn't making tons of calls to get the appointments. And what I want people to recognize is your support can help you generate more revenue. They're not just doing admin. They can help you book revenue-producing activities, and they free you up for you to do revenue-producing activities, which is so important.
It is, and it's just a matter of, it's not only time managed, but it is certainly about getting things into priority or into an alignment that functions to support you, especially when you've got this creative mind that starts to move in lots of different directions. I'm speaking to myself. But I know that I'm speaking to my audience as well.
Yeah.
clearly, as entrepreneurs, we're like that. I mean, you've got this buzz and this energy that's moving, and you're really trying to focus, but it's important to get things in an order that allows you to grow with support that you need, but also not pull your hair out while you're trying to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good point. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about this idea of insta-clients, because I do think it's so valuable in this day and age to maintain those relationships. So we'll talk about that and where you'll be, because with 85 engagements, we'll find out where you're headed, and with our viewers, maybe they'll have an opportunity to actually meet you and give you a hug in person.
Hey.
So what steps have you taken lately to take your business to a whole nother level? Or are you stuck or stalled? I'd love to hear from you. So send me an email at info@dariethchisolm.com, or you can like me on Facebook at Darieth Chisolm or on Twitter at Darieth Chisolm, and share your journey. Ask me a question, give me a topic or two, or a potential show guest. Looking forward to hearing from you.
This is not a hotel. It's an idea that travel should be brilliant. Because it's not only about where you're staying, it's about where you're going. The promise of spaces far beyond your imagination. We're here to advance the art of hosting so you can make the most of your journey. Pittsburgh Marriott City Center. Travel brilliantly.
Hi, my name is Donna Baxter. I am the tech diva and CEO of the soulpit.com, putting you down with anything and everything soulful going on in the community. And I will see you on the next episode of Hustle and Heart TV, baby.
So Caterina is this incredible wealth of knowledge around creating events, and from your events, turning them into what she calls insta-clients. We started off the show talking a little bit about that, but I want to circle back around and really dive in a little deeper in that, because I hope that what my audience will find as a result of this conversation with you, Caterina, is just how valuable it is to be at these events and then move and turn those people into what you call insta-clients.
Yes. Well, the thing is that people can see you on the internet through social media, and guess what? They can see hundreds of other people that do something similar to you as well. That is fine, but when they're at your event, they're only seeing what you have to offer, and you're the only thing in the room to invest in. And so it's a way for people to really see that you to not be distracted, and to see that you're a good match for them. But the other thing is, regardless of the value that you bring, is for you to see that people want to also meet you. They want to get to know you. They want to touch you and shake your hand and see that you're real. And they can't do that through social media. But through a live event, they can absolutely do that.
But how do you get booked for live events? So we've got, I'm sure, some people who are watching who are saying, this sounds great, fantastic, but where do I turn? How do I get booked? Who do I contact? What's the process of getting booked at events?
And let me say this. I'm having been booked for many, many years. My preference is to book myself. And that's what the intro event is so powerful for. Because you're booking yourself, you're controlling the environment. Everybody came just to hear you. When you go speak at the chamber or at a women's group, they came for the networking. They didn't come for the speaker. Now, because you're a good speaker, you, of course, will leave with clients. But don't see that as the only vehicle. Also see that you can book yourself as much as you want. Now, I'm going to give a super tip right now. So, super tip alert, super tip alert. Put on Facebook the speech that you give, and that you're looking for whatever kind of group you're looking for to deliver that speech. And I will tell you, I share this tip occasionally, and every time I do, somebody tells me that they got a booking simply by posting on Facebook that they talk on this, and they're looking for this kind of group to speak for. And I will say, it's worked for me, it's worked for many of my clients. So be loud and proud. Let people know that you're looking for places to speak. Also, send a dedicated email to your list about your topics, because guess what? Even the people on your list don't necessarily know that you're a speaker and what your topics are. Those are a few easy things to do. Also, of course, make a list of the places that you want to speak and begin to reach out to them and ask them if they're booked for speakers for the rest of the year.
And so for a new person who's getting into the speaking arena, should they be concerned at all about speaker sheets, speaker rates, I mean, the whole protocol around developing yourself as a speaker? Or is this just, listen, get out there, be loud and proud, at least start this process, and then you can worry about that later?
What I would say is a couple things. I do want people to get out there and speak as often as they can. I recommend, though, that they only speak to their ideal clients. Don't go speak to every group, on the planet, because when there are two kinds of audiences, there's a show me audience and there's a prove it to me audience. And your people, the people that want to hear your message, your ideal clients, they'll be show me. But groups that are not necessarily your clients, they will be prove it to me, and we don't want you speaking to those people, because then that depresses you, you come home with no clients, and you've had to work really hard. So with that in mind, I want people to go out and speak to as many show me audiences as they can. And yes, a speaker sheet makes a huge difference. It differentiates you from everybody else that says they want to speak, but they don't have a speaker sheet.
Very good point. And of course, if you're in front of an audience that is tailored to hear your message, or a suitable audience for you, the chances of actually landing some of them as clients and customers is much greater than if you were just throwing it out against a wall, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah,
and I would also say is, when you're a great speaker, sometimes people will sign up, but if they're not your right clients, then they're not going to become long-term clients, and it really dilutes the room with everybody else if they're really not your ideal client.
Makes perfect sense, definitely. So we've talked a little bit about leveraging through all of these things that you've talked about, and clearly you are a leader in this space, and will continue to do that as you're promoting that women thrive and are loud and proud in what they do, whether it's on stage or through gaining insta-clients. But let's talk a little bit about lifestyle and how to balance, how you're balancing, but how you would encourage other very busy entrepreneurs to balance their life.
Well, let me say that this year, for the first year, I'm taking almost every weekend this year off, which is a big change for me, because last year I worked most weekends. Now, the thing is that I'm now trying to fit, I'm usually training on Thursday, Fridays, so I'm trying to fit all my work into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I'm having a little bit of a challenge with that. I do still do a little work on the weekends, but it's low stress. That has been a big change, and that's really important. When you're doing high energy work, like speaking and running events, it is definitely important that you get that downtime. The other thing is, make sure, again, that you have good support in your life. And for this discussion, it's not only support from your team, it's also support from your chiropractor, your nutritionist, or whoever else helps you stay healthy. And as a woman who's turning 50 next month, I can tell you that I'm having more attention on my health and my nutrition than ever before. In fact, I have a new nutritionist, and I emailed her last week and I said, I ate 4 cups of kale today. That's as much as I've eaten in the whole year before. So now I'm eating a lot more kale, which is great because I actually like it, and that's helping. Having a good diet is important. Of course, drinking plenty of water, but really having an attitude that you need to take good care of yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't serve from an empty cup.
No, you certainly can't. And oftentimes we get so busy and we don't even realize our cups are empty and they're bone dry, and we're trying to continue to serve in the process of doing that. Well, speaking of serving, I understand that you've got some specials available for our Hustle and Heart TV viewers and listeners. So if you could just share with them what we'll make available to them on your show notes page, that would be great.
Okay, great. Well, if you go to caterinarando.com/introintensive, you can learn all about, I have a 3-hour downloadable product or sessions on how to do an intro intensive, and it's really broken down into 3 separate hours, and there's templates and there's checklists and there's agenda for you to make it super easy for people to do their own intro event and come home with insta-clients. And if they use the code INTRO77, they will get the program at a discount. It's regularly $97, they'll get it for $77. And the thing that I really want to say is that intros, once you get the hang of it, they are a strategy that you can use for the lifetime of your business to gain insta-clients every time you do them. I have not seen a client or myself do an intro and not come home with clients. I have a client who has just started her health coaching business. She did her first intro. She came home with 5 clients. She is over the moon. And guess what? The more she does it, the more she will come home with more and more clients. This is a strategy that you can use over and over to grow your business.
Great, and we're going to make that link available as well as additional resources on our show notes page. So if you're watching us actually at the website, no worries. There'll be a link just below this video that you'll be able to click to get information on her program at the discount. So thanks so much for offering that to our viewers and listeners. If you're joining us via iTunes or Stitcher Radio, you'll want to head out to hustleandhearttv.com and then search Caterina's name, and you'll find the additional resources there, as well as this video in case you'd like to turn back to it for additional support. So Caterina, before we wrap, I know we've talked a lot, and I really appreciate all the information that you shared with us, but I'd like to ask you to leave us with 2 tips. One of them is a hustle tip, which would be around, working hard, hustling, grinding for what you want in life, and then the heart tip. The love, the passion, the loving your journey part. So what are your tips for us?
Well, the first thing is that when you do what you love, it never feels like work. And my clients, my family, they all say, oh, you're so busy. Well, I don't like to use the word busy. I say my life is full, because it is full. It's full with the richness of having the joy of doing what I love to do. And so don't hesitate to take time to do what you love to do, and what you don't love to do, get someone else to do. That's really important. That's the tip. Do what you love, get support for the part that you don't love. The other tip that's perhaps most important of any tip is to love your clients. Love them, tell them you love them, show them you love them, because we all, it's all about love. That's the whole benefit of life. And in business, sometimes there's this standoffish way that we think we're supposed to be. Be the opposite of that. Hug your clients, love them, because that not only will have you have great relationships with them, but you know what? It will keep them coming back, and it will be a richer experience for both of you, because your work can be the most fulfilling thing that you have in life when you're doing it right, which includes taking care of yourself, serving the people you want to serve, being yourself, and loving your clients.
Well, I have loved this time with you, so I do appreciate it. You've given us tremendous information and value, and I look forward to people taking advantage of what it is that you have to share. So we see a lot more people at events and getting those insta-clients to grow their business.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Maybe your manuscript has been rejected for the 10th time. Maybe you're already published, but sales are almost non-existent. The defeated feeling is the same. It's time to get it done right. Rochelle Carter, the author of The 7-Step Guide to Entrepreneurship, has the answers that will turn your career around. Rochelle leads you through the powerful 7 steps, guiding you as you become a successful author and entrepreneur. Build your writing talents into a business, a platform that can sell you and everything you write, giving you what every writer wants, a continuing money flow. Rochelle Carter shares the tried and true, as well as the new, most effective, smart, and affordable steps to plan your publication and sell more books. To be a successful professional writer, the 7-Step Guide to Entrepreneurship is a must-read, a guide you will return to time and time again
John Perneris of the John Perneris Agency in Ambridge, Pennsylvania. One of my biggest pet peeves is when the IRS rips you off. We've been in business since 1950, and for 65 years, we have been committed into saving you money on your taxes. We keep the IRS off your back and out of your pocket. You can visit us on our website at johnpernerisagency.com. Find us on Facebook at Facebook John Perneris Agency for money-saving tips, and you can call us at 724-266-4100 to book an appointment now.